There was nothing we could do.
My name is Never Chris, and this is my review for The House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return for the Nintendo Wii. As you can probably guess, this is a compilation of the second and third House of the Dead games, which use the Wiimote in place of the light gun. House of the Dead is the kind of game you play when you're hanging around Dave & Buster's bored out of your skull while your floofy girlfriend wastes away her money on ticket redemption games and you need something to entertain yourself with. It acts as a nice prelude to the horrible grease food you'll be eating soon, which is guaranteed to be giving you diarrhea all night long. For this, it's great. As with most established arcade games, the House of the Dead series seems untouchable. I'm not sure if it's just a vocal minority, but this series of games definitely seems to have its fans. However, as far as I'm concerned, the moment they leave the arcade, they're no longer nearly as exciting. I wouldn't really even call it Sega's fault. It's mostly because profitable arcade games are built in a certain way, but when you take them home and shoehorn them into a console, their lack of depth and flaws become much more apparent. Today, House of the Dead 2 looks crude and is hardly worth playing. The characters and environment are ugly and the hit detection is off. The gameplay is focused around catching whatever cheap shots the computer throws at you, heavily transparent to the game's roots as an arcade machine, forcing you to cycle through your lives as quickly as possible in hopes of getting you to cough up more quarters. After you exhaust all of the limited credits this game gives you, it's game over, pal, and you'll be starting from scratch. This does not transition very well to home gaming, as the actual content in this game is extremely limited, and artificially extending it by making you replay the game is lame. House of the Dead 3 is this collection's redemption and probably the reason why you'd buy this game if you aren't already drenched in blinding nostalgia. 3D graphics actually look decent by this time, and the game looks much better, helping to heighten the atmosphere and further bring you into a proper zombie blasting mood. The hit detection is now thankfully a little more forgiving, and the multiplayer pathways don't all look exactly the same anymore. The game is actually fun at times and the cheap shots are much less apparent. I still don't like having to start all the way over from the beginning when I've gone through all of my allotted credits. I was cool with this back in my younger days, when I was much less picky in my gaming and I was willing to play whatever was set in front of me. However, as the aging, bitter person that I am today, being forced to repeatedly replay levels from scratch makes me cranky. It's just not what I want anymore. I'd much rather Sega gave me infinite continues and then let me decide on my own how many I'm willing to burn through before my shame catches up to me. House of the Dead 3 is still a fun game. Hook a buddy up with a Wiimote and you'll be able to share the enjoyment of mowing down zombies together. It's still a shallow experience overall, but there is some fun to be had. There's a small segment of gamers out there who just love these light gun transitions and yearn to replay the same levels many times over to outdo their previous scores, and while I may secretly question their obsessive video game tastes, this game will surely hit home for them. By nature, a rail shooter can only have so much depth, but when I'm at home and playing on my console, Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles, which was developed specifically for the Wii, delivers an experience closer to what I prefer. House of the Dead 3 is good for a little while, but becomes old rather quickly as there still isn't much content in it. This is one of those games where the people who want to own it will buy it and be happy regardless of what anyone says, while everyone else will find it just okay. I give House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return a 7 out of 10.